What's going on, guys? Today I'm going to show you how to get the scratches out of your car. So what you guys are going to need to take out the scratches is a bucket of water, some 2000 grit sandpaper, a polishing hand pad, foam pad for your buffing wheel, and a buffing wheel. You don't need a buffing wheel. Buffing wheel is optional. You can do this by hand. It will just take longer. 2 microfiber towels and Meguiar's Mirror Glaze Professional Machine Glaze. And this is just a light cutting compound, and a Mirror Glaze high-tech yellow wax. And this is just a wax that you would apply over your actual finished product. The links to all of these will be in the description below. So this is a pretty old Jeep Grand Cherokee. It's a 1999, and it's seen its abuse all over the body of the car. It's got pretty deep scratches over here. I replaced this rear tail light, which means it probably got sideswiped at one point and then cracked the light. These are really deep scratches, and I don't know about this one right here. This one seems to be in the clear coat, and this one seems to have rubbed through the paint. But there's plenty of scratches here, so I'm gonna try and show you how to get all these scratches out. Now, this is going to be a one-stage sanding job, so grab your 2000 grit sandpaper, dunk it in the bucket of water you just filled, and start sanding out the scratches with the wet sandpaper. You can use a spray bottle if you want and spray the surface, or you can wet the sandpaper instead. So I wet sanded other parts of the car, and this is what was left over. So make sure, since this is kind of a DIY job, you're going to want to get a clean microfiber and clean the surface after you've sanded it. As you can still see, after I wiped it, you can still see the scratches. This one's pretty deep. I'm gonna try and get this one out with the sandpaper, but if I see that it's not gonna come out, I'll leave it, because you don't wanna go too far to the point where you go past your clear coat. These right here are coming out. I should be able to get these, and the ones on the gas cap and on the top over here seem to be going away. So keep sanding with your sandpaper until you see that the marks are going away.
I mean, yeah, that's a deep scratch, but it looks good. Like from what compared to what it was before.
I don't know if I'm gonna be able to.
The one on the gas cap looks good.
Yeah, practically gone.
And the one over here isn't so bad either. It's that side that's deep. Great, that looks great.
I can go more and get that out. I'm not worried about that. This, I think I can get this out. I think I can.
What's all this?
That's chipped from, that's beneath the clear coat. But I don't see it scratched into the actual body of the car, so I might be able to get that out. I'm gonna try, but if I see that it's not gonna work, I'll stop. So, as you can see, we got most of the scratches out. Now, as you can also see, the water is starting to dry and it's leaving a haze. I'm gonna show you guys how to remove that haze and buff it out and make it look like it was brand new paint. Unfortunately, these scratches were just a little too deep. The car was hit pretty hard, so there is waves inside, and I actually can't get the sandpaper in between the little seams enough to sand that down. It's pushed in a little bit, the panel. So that is pretty good, and it even looks way better than what it was before with all those other scratches. Now I'm gonna show you with the buffing compound and the polishing compound how good it will look. Now, get your buffing wheel with your light foam applicator pad. Get out your Meguiar's Mirror Glaze formula. Put some on the pad. Before you go all high speed, kind of just rub it around in the area. Get it all over the area. Put it on low speed at first, just so you can kind of rub it in. Now that it's all rubbed in, you can raise the speed on your wheel. If you don't have one that raises or adjusts your speed and it just goes really fast, try to go really quick with it, because if you stay in one spot, you can end up burning your paint, which is not something you want to do. You can add a little bit more to it and just keep going until you get that finish you want. Just don't go too much, because this will actually cut through your clear coat. See, and don't do what I just did and go full speed right off the bat, because what happened is it kind of just splattered it all over the place. After you've buffed out the surface with the cutting compound, grab a clean microfiber towel and wipe the surface. Unfortunately, my scratches were pretty bad, but I got most of them out. Look at that finish. That big one is still there. That's unfortunate, but it does look a million times better than what it did look like. It kind of sucks because this metal's pushed in and I can't really get in the seams with that sandpaper to really get that out. And same thing over here, this one actually went through the clear coat. This one's not too bad. I could probably sand down that more and really get it down, but I was starting to see a little bit of paint in it, so I didn't want to go down any deeper. That's a little unfortunate, but it does look a lot better, and a million times better actually than it looked before, but we're not done yet. Now, grab your Meguiar's High-Tech Mirror Glaze Wax. Put it on a light applicator pad that you have, and you can just apply this by hand. You don't have to use a crap ton and put it all over the place, but lightly rub it around the area. Let that sit for a couple seconds and let it adhere to the paint. Now that you let it adhere to the paint, grab your clean microfiber and buff it out. It's actually pretty funny. Now that it's clean, you can see all the dents, which kind of sucks and kind of defeats the purpose. But if someone keyed your car or didn't dent it, getting these marks out would be a lot easier. But you know, that came out for a little DIY job and some pretty cheap stuff. The Meguiar's is probably the most expensive things, and you don't even need to use a buffing wheel. If you have a foam pad applicator or something, or even a towel, you can do it by hand. It'll take a little longer. The buffing wheel does help, but you can still do this by hand. I only waxed this one area just to show you the difference, and it just looks great. You should wax your whole entire car, you should wash your whole entire car, and then apply the wax. But for a little buffing job like that, that came out pretty good, and I'm actually really happy because it just feels a lot cleaner. It's a lot smoother. It honestly looks like glass. You can see me in the thing. It is really unfortunate that these clear coat scratches are pretty deep, but if you just have light scratches, you can 100% definitely sand them out. This just looks a million times better than what it does, than what it did before, and it's just, I love it. It's just, I would do this to my whole car. I would do that to that car, except it doesn't really have paint on it, so I can't really buff anything out. I just want to thank you guys so much for watching, and I will catch you all in the next how-to video. Peace.